Well, apparently there's no black people that are, talented enough to work at Wells Fargo.
Talk about it.
Well, so I did some research on it, and I will come to his defense a little bit. So the CEO of Wells Fargo comes out and says,
Coming to our last topic, though, we're already approaching an hour.
okay. Okay. While it might sound like an excuse, the unfortunate reality is there's a very limited pool of black talent to recruit from.
Who said this?
The CEO of Wells Fargo.
Did he specify why?
Yeah, I'll say what talent
Okay.
specifically. Talking about as a whole or a specific industry?
Because, so
It's bullshit either way, but
after the George Floyd and all that stuff happened, Wells Fargo signed some initiatives that they were going to implement, a diversity initiative. And they aren't able to meet their own diversity initiative. And this is his reply.
They weren't able to.
No. And this is a reply to why. Okay? So I'm going to just read a couple facts. This year, Wells Fargo paid a $3 billion fine for creating millions of fake accounts using the names of real customers, hurting their credit ratings, and charging them fees. Since Charlie Scharf took over as CEO of Wells Fargo on October 21st, 2019, the company's stock value has dropped from $50.46 to $23.65. That's a 53% decline.
53% decline.
Wells Fargo paid $175 million to settle claims it racially discriminated against borrowers by charging black and Latino families higher rates and fees on mortgages. So, there's no talent, but it's talented at charging minorities more. Now, people who went to the summit and heard the whole speech, right? Actually came.
This was a speech.
Yeah.
How did I not hear about this?
Yeah, this was a speech. So,
I gotta look up this speech and I gotta watch this speech.
And
wow.
But see, a lot of black people said they walked away being incredibly surprised by how genuine and sincere he was. That not all attendees were offended, that they felt he was coming from a sincere place. I don't know what his arguments based on it were, but I will say that Wells Fargo has more than, I think, tripled its amount of minorities in its staff since for the past couple of years, and they're a pretty diverse company. Like, they don't have any, other than what they were doing with their loans and stuff, there's not, racial anything, but they're just saying there's not enough progress. My thing is, dog, I don't care what argument you have. There's not enough talent.
I'm curious to hear the full context of what he, like.
Yeah, because I'm actually curious about that too. Like, it's taken out of context, it's extremely offensive. It's
sounds
just
like a Joe
he's saying
Biden
that
thing.
Nobody's going for it, like, or does he just genuinely think that, like, he can't? I'm gonna err on the side that he is just, and he can't be implying that, like, the black community isn't capable of doing that. I'm kind of assuming that he's just saying that nobody's, like, trying or nobody's applying for the positions that he's looking to fill.
Like the fish in the sea are stat.
So, okay, this is my question. There's not one black person applying for any of these jobs that he's saying. I don't know that there. Okay, so my problem with this is he's saying something, right? And without context or with the context, regardless, he's saying something, right, that does not make sense.
Yeah, I would agree.
And my problem with it is it also doesn't make sense because he didn't have to say it. They're a pretty diverse company. So, like, why? You set standards you couldn't meet. That's all it is. You tried to overpander, and you couldn't do it.
Just an excuses, pretty much.
It's an excuse, in my point of view. Now, he could say, "Oh,
isn't that worse?
Maybe the black people that are applying for the jobs aren't more qualified than the white people applying for jobs, or other race applying for the jobs." That is fine. For you to say there is no talent, there's a limited talent pool of people. How many jobs do you need? What do you need people to do? Is it rocket science? No. There are enough. Okay, let me put it like this. However many Fortune 500 companies there are in the world, there's enough talented black people to run them. Is that fair enough to say?
I would say so.
Right? So let's say there's 7,000 Fortune 500 companies. I would say there's probably 7,000 well-equipped black people who could run them, right? So for you to say that sentence regardless, and I don't think he's racist. I don't even think this was racial. I just think it was just a sad excuse. It's just dumb to me.
It's kind of ignorant.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Like, you're not looking in, my boy.
Yeah, I wish I kind of looked more into this before we talked about it, because that's interesting to
That's
say
right.
the least. Like, what?
Yeah.
My
I
boy.
definitely do wonder. I kind of want to listen to his speech.
A lot of
Yeah.
a lot of
Let
other
me-
black
let me
CEOs
dice it
came
up.
out against him though. A lot of black CEOs came out against him and said, "You're not looking, then, my boy."
Because I would expect to hear a lot about this if he says stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of backlash. This is my first time. When did this happen?
Today,
Oh, it happened today. Maybe I'll hear about it tomorrow then.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this either, man. That's interesting. I kind of
Ahead of the curve.
want to see if he broke down the
It's your
info, or if he just walked up to the podium and was like, "It's no talent,
Tap,
man.
tap,
Can't do it. Sorry."
I got an announcement to make, y'all.
I got an announcement.
There is not enough black.
It was like, what?
Yeah, I would have kind of enjoyed to see the crowd's reaction to him
Okay.
saying that.
so in boardrooms, African Americans made up 10% of new director appointments in the Fortune 500 last year, compared with their 13% of the U.S. population, according to 2020 report from executive recruiting from firm Heidrick and Struggles. New Hispanic directors were even more scarce, the study found. Only 7.3% of the 5 highest paid executives at financial companies in the Russell 3000 were racial or ethnic minorities. According to the data from ISS ESG, an arm of a proxy advisory firm, Institutional Shareholders Services, that number has risen in recent years, yet remains far below the percentage of minority groups in the general U.S. population. Okay, I have a problem with us trying to match everything up to the population. Is that weird?
What do you mean match everything?
Like, oh,
for example,
blah,
how
blah,
whites
blah.
make up this, and then blacks and the Asian makes up this. We're trying to match
In the
that. Is that what
general
you're saying?
population. Like, I understand diversity initiatives, like, mentally. I don't understand their implications. I mean, how they're implemented. But
That's the
I
fine
understand
line,
the
man.
sentiment behind them, but I never understand the comparing percentages to general things like CEO. So, like, whereas I can say, if you're not, my point is, if you want to hire a good black guy, there's a black guy for it. But if you're just looking for the best candidate, find the best candidate. Don't say you're looking for a black guy and there's no black guy. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's definitely
There's a black guy or a black woman or whatever. Black it, or whatever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you can't just blanket statement that and then think, oh, that's cool. I said it.
We're just gonna keep it moving.
Gonna keep it moving. And
That's that fine line for tokenism, man. Because, like, I honestly didn't even know what that word
Yeah.
meant until about a month ago, and then somebody broke it down. They're just like, it means, this is the best way I heard it explained. It's diversity without inclusion. And I was like, oh, yeah. And it's
That's
like, once
actually
there's
a good way.
count,
that's
Yeah.
excellent.
yeah, once there's a head count, and it's just like, we got to have 2 black guys here, but they don't have to come to the company parties. And it's just like, that's fucked up. That's tokenism for sure, man.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching a clip of Fake Deep Thinking. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Full episodes of Fake Deep Thinking are released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Check it out.